What's up, guys? This is Josh, and today I'm super stoked. I've got some amazing stuff I'm going to be going over, specifically lukewarm coffee and the things I wish I'd known before I started my online business. All right, so what does lukewarm coffee have to do with anything? Well, this morning I hopped out of bed, excited to get a good kickstart on the day with a steaming hot cup of coffee, and I decided to warm my milk up in the microwave instead of on the stove. What I've been drinking is something called cortado. It's just a cup of steaming hot milk with like Nescafe instant coffee poured into it and some brown sugar. You stir that up and boom, you got cortado. It's delicious. But anyways, I usually heat it up on the stove, and this time I decided to put it in the microwave to get a jump on my day. Once it had finished heating up, I took it out and immediately just scalded the crap out of my hand. And the coffee's not even hot. It's lukewarm. So anyways, in the same way that I wished I had known that that would happen with my coffee so that I wouldn't be drinking lukewarm coffee out of a molten coffee mug right now, I'm going to share with you the things that I wish I had known before I started my online business 7 years ago. So yeah, just take that example of the lukewarm coffee and compound that, multiply that by 1,000,000 times, because that's how valuable your business is and is going to be. And these are the things that I truly wish I had known before I started my online business 7 years ago, because I would have achieved success so much sooner. I mean, I might have cut that time in half or even more. So super stoked to share this with you guys. Let's jump right into it. All right, the first thing that I wish I had known before I started my business was to really know and to really be okay with asking for help. It's something I've always had a problem with. I've struggled with it all my life, and I don't really completely know why, but just knowing that it's all right to ask for help it can be kind of hard to wrap your mind around. I know it is for me, but I wish that I had been okay with asking for help way sooner than I did. Because the thing is, when you surround yourself with people who want to help you, because you can also help them, just trust me, it's an incredible way to set yourself up for success and surround yourself with extremely valuable assets before you even take the plunge. The second thing I wish I knew before starting my business is building a quality email list, right? That's part of this one. Building a quality email list, and there's a second part to this, and that is market research. I wish that I'd known how important market research is, truly. I would have spent a heck of a lot more time learning about my target market, learning about my customers, and spending that time in the beginning, not just creating content for the sake of creating content, just to get out a bunch of stuff that'll hopefully bring in leads, hopefully attract people and get them interested in what I'm talking about. No, I wish I had studied my market diligently and known what they wanted ahead of time so that I could give them exactly what they want and exactly what they needed right off the bat. See, the thing is, if I had known that, my email list would have taken off. My marketing list would have grown exponentially right away, because I'm not just creating content for creating content's sake. I'm putting out quality content that people already want and need, right? There's a demand for it, and I'm matching that demand with a proper supply. So really, I just can't stress enough how important this is. Quality beats quantity every time, right? And that's where that market research comes into play. Quality over quantity. It doesn't matter if you're running an e-commerce storefront, a podcast, an online magazine, if you're selling your own digital products, none of that matters. This applies to every situation, every business. Quality beats quantity every time. Doing proper research ahead of time is going to help you create highly focused content that's going to help your customers receive better results. And on top of that, once you start creating this content, they're going to get involved. And you're not going to have to guess what they want, because they're going to tell you. That's the amazing thing about doing proper market research, giving your target audience exactly what they want and need, and then getting their feedback and continuing to give them exactly what they need. Now let's talk a little bit about tunnel vision focus. This is one of the biggest things I wish I had known before starting my business. And the power of concentrated focus is really pretty phenomenal. I've reached at this point, I really have a lot of different business models. I'm active on a number of social media platforms, and I've got a lot of different traffic generation strategies. So, but I've got to say that in the beginning, I made the mistake of trying to do all of these different things at once, right? And I spread myself thin. The tough thing about spreading yourself thin, trying to, build a successful YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook, as well as writing a quality blog post every day and running a successful Google AdWords campaign. These things are all great. But if you try to do them all at once, you're never going to build any momentum. So this is what's worked for me. What I do is I sit down and I pinpoint my 80-20, right? The 80-20 rule. I identified the 20% of my activities that generate 80% of my results. And then what I do is I just hone in, I get tunnel vision on those few things that produce 80% of my results. And I do that on a regular basis. So this is what you can do. The first thing you do when you get up in the morning, before you do anything else, don't hop on your computer, don't get on your phone, don't, start reading your social media, your tweets and your text messages or whatever. Before you do anything else, is to sit down. Before you do anything else, sit down and focus on that single task that you've identified as the most important one, right? That single task that's going to generate 80% of your results. Do that before anything else. Now, for me, the vast majority of the time, that task is writing. But for you, it'll probably be something completely different. You may be a writer too, so it may be writing for you as well. But whatever it is that you do, right, make sure that you identify that single thing that produces 80% of your results and do that immediately, first thing when you get up. I think you'll be pretty amazed at how much you can actually get done when you have this tunnel vision focus on the most important aspect of your business. All right, here's another thing that I wish I had known before I started my business. I wish that I would have known that the importance of building your business not off of simply your passion, but off of the things that you're actually good at, right? What are you gifted in? What are your talents? Those are the things that you need to focus on more than simply your passions, right? So for example, I love to fish, right? I absolutely love it. If I could get up in the morning, go out to the lake or a river or stream and just fish every day, I would definitely do that. And someday soon, that will be my reality. But I wouldn't even know where to begin building a business off of fishing. Just going out there and fishing. I guess I could, video myself or something along those lines, but I don't have very real skill when it comes to fishing, at least not on the level that the pros do. And if I tried to build a business off of it, it's an almost guaranteed fail. So yeah, when I first started my business, I was really trying to figure out, first I actually started with things that I thought everybody else wanted. I didn't even focus on the things that I was passionate about. I said, okay, let's see, people really like hookahs. There's a lot of demand for these hookahs. Who knows what they're doing with those hookahs? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give them hookahs. And I built a website, and I got a drop shipper, and I got some supply, and I started selling these Sahara hookahs. And I sold a few of them. It was all right. But the problem was, one, I was not passionate about it at all. And two, I wasn't gifted in the realm of hookah knowledge. I knew nothing about hookahs, and I didn't care about them, right? So before I knew it, that idea fizzled into nothing. Even though I made a little bit of profit, it really was ultimately a failure. So what that really boils down to for you is figuring out ahead of time, first off, what you're passionate about, but secondly, what are you gifted in? What are you really good at? So think about it this way. What are the things that you do that when you do them, people ask you, how'd you do that so good? Like, how'd you do that so well? How do you do that so fast? Or when they say things like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I could never do that. These types of things, pay attention to those kind of comments and try to remember what people say about you in certain areas so that you can pinpoint what your true gifts are, where you are talented, where you're skilled. And then take that skill, and if you have a passion for that ability, transfer that into your business. Make that your business. Build your entire business around it, right? It needs to be like that needs to be your sun, right? And all of your activities, all of your efforts of the plan is revolving around this single gift. All right, so the last thing that I wish I had known before I started my online business 7 years ago, or about 7 years ago, is self-promotion. I mentioned this in a recent video, and I really can't emphasize how important this is. People say this over and over and over again. Provide value. Value, value, value. Content is king. Make sure you're giving your audience value. And this is great advice, it really is. But here's the thing, for me at least, those things come naturally. That's what I want to do. I want to help, and I want to give people the best advice I can possibly give them. So that's the easy part. For me, the hardest thing was selling. I just hated sales from the very beginning. And if that's something that you're naturally gifted in, good on you. Trust me, you are geared for success right off the bat, because it's not an easy thing, at least not for me. I mean, it sounds really simple, but I think from the get-go, I looked at selling the wrong way. I kind of looked at it like I was thinking about that sleazy car salesman, or one of those crazy landing pages you land on the internet with, that are really flashy and focused on those manipulation, hypnotizing, mesmerizing, copywriting tactics to get you to buy something that you really don't need. I think that was my mindset when it came to sales, and that's a really unhealthy mindset, and it's not accurate at all when you're doing it properly. So thankfully, eventually, I started realizing that selling, this is what provides even more value for my audience, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm getting my customers to make a commitment and take action on something that will help them accomplish their goals. I've been there, I've done it. I endorse the things that I know work and I know will work for the people that I'm sharing them with. And then beyond that, well, it helps you pay the bills. Helps you save money. If you're a digital nomad or someone who likes to travel like I do, helps you travel the world. It helps free you from that 9-to-5, from that slavery that so many people are held in bondage to. And that is perhaps the most important thing that I wish I had known before I started my online business. The simple fact that it's okay to sell. Self-promotion is okay. It's not just okay, it's good. And it's not just good, it's great. So that's all I got for you today, guys. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.